Maddy Herbert from Velvet Bloom. Welcome back to Australian Musician.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, we've spoken to you a few times now. The first time was during COVID. Looking back at that period, was there anything positive that came out of it, do you think?
I think so. I wrote a lot of songs during lockdown, and I think we have an album coming out with a lot of songs that I wrote in that period. I think I was able to kind of like refine my songwriting, but also refine like relationships and stuff as well. And I think it really showed the people, I guess, in my life who, yeah, would be able to kind of maintain relationships or like maintain a friendship without being able to like see each other in real life. So yeah, I think there was a lot of positives that came out of it. Obviously, it was like hard in a lot of ways as well, but yeah, I definitely felt like it was very positive too.
Earlier this year, you applied to be part of the Wild Turkey 101 Mentorship Program and you were successful. What were you hoping to get out of it at that stage?
I think as a musician, when you apply for things, sometimes you don't have heaps of expectations on like what the opportunity is going to bring. But when I did apply, I was like, this would be incredible. Obviously, to be mentored by Angus and Julia Stone, and to have the opportunity to be, in a room with a lot of engineers and stuff from Studios 301. That was really like a great idea or like concept. So uh yeah, I don't think I had a lot of expectations when applying, but it definitely exceeded expectations the actual program. So yeah, that was very cool.
What would you consider to be the most important things that you got out of going through the program?
So with the 101, the Wild Turkey 101 mentorship program, we were able to create like really, really nice friendships. All the other mentees within the program were so incredible and talented. And yeah, like I think as soon as we all met, we clicked straight away. And I think that connection is why we do music. And it was so awesome to have people from, I guess, a lot of different genres be in the same room together and like, I guess, um, you know, take what they needed from the opportunity for their own practice and apply it in their own ways as well. But also to be able to like support each other through that, that was like really great. Also, obviously, like the time with and Julia Stone, that was awesome. I've listened to their music since I was really young. So it was just cool that I think all of us like had applied for this opportunity through Wild Turkey Bourbon with like probably like not heaps of expectations because you don't think that like you don't conceptualize something until like something comes like until it actually comes to fruition. So like yeah, to be able to actually one get into the program and then two like have such an incredible experience with like wonderful people. Yeah, it was just awesome. We had such a good time together.
What was the first moment you thought, wow, I didn't think of that? The first time you sort of learned something.
We had a conversation. Um, Kaya Grosner, actually. They did um a songwriting workshop and they were talking about like a an approach to lyricism and it was kind of like a technique. It was really cool. And basically you kind of create a story with like a list of nouns and verbs that you like see within your space. And I've been doing that a lot just for like sparking kind of creativity. And that was actually really cool. I think that that workshop, yeah, one of my favorites because it was I was able to kind of apply it the way, I think. Whereas like some of the other workshops, I think like they would definitely be helpful like in years to come. Just like especially because like in Studios 301, we were talking about like Adobe Atmos and like all the other things that like maybe like weren't able to be applied straight away. But yeah, in the future, definitely we'll be taking a lot of consideration for a lot of those engineers we're talking about too.
Yeah. Then after the program had finished, your mentorship with Angus and Julia was extended. You must have made quite an impression. How did that come about, and what did it involve?
Yeah, I was so stoked and obviously felt very honored because as I said, there were so many incredible musicians in the 101 mentorship program. But yeah, I guess they had just asked if I wanted to come and record with them at Sugarcane Mount Studios. So that involves me flying up in October and writing uh tracks with them and recording those three tracks as well. Um, yeah, it was incredible, and like I wouldn't have been able to do that Wild Turkey's input, obviously. So I'm very, very appreciative. It's an opportunity that like doesn't come around very like ever. Like it wouldn't come around very often, especially because of like financial, like the cost that it takes from like an artist to be able to like fly interstate and then like stay there and record. It's yeah, it's just something that is probably not very accessible. So um yeah, I'm very, very appreciative.
Was there anything about the way Angus and Julia worked in the studio that surprised you?
Um Maybe my favorite part of watching them work together was seeing their process when it came to writing like lyrics and melodies. It was really cool to see how they approached writing with no ego, but also like were so supportive of each other's ideas. And yeah, I loved watching two people write together because I think that that's not something that I really do. Like when it comes to Velvet Bloom stuff, I do all of the songwriting, so there's not really like I guess someone to bounce ideas off of when it comes to like the lyrical stuff. So yeah, it was really awesome watching them work together because it was so quick and it was so intentional as well. But they've obviously just been doing it so long that it just, yeah, it comes out so fluidly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Earlier in the year, you released single Silver Tongue. I think that was before the mentor
Yeah.
program. How did that song come about?
So we released Silver Tongue in September. So that was just after the mentorship program. We actually that song came out of it with the band, which is really cool. We don't usually write that way. So it was awesome to be able to just sit in a room. I came up with the I think I came up with the lyrics actually on the spot in the jam as well as like the rest of the band coming up with like melodies and like drum beats and stuff. But it all kind of the actual like the foundation of the song came together really quickly. But then obviously it's like very production heavy that song and a lot of work went into it post like writing. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that that jam came together really quickly and then the lyricism yeah, also came together quite quickly. And the feeling, I think we all kind of understood what the feeling was that needed to be portrayed. So yeah, that was a really fun song to write actually, because yeah, as I said, it was like just different to how we would usually approach things. And I think that's really good for creativity, like to do something that is different to like your usual practice. So yeah, that's why it feels kind of like it's pushing our our creativity to like the next kind of yeah, era or step. Yeah.
Yeah. Best in You is the current single released in November. You launched it at Shot Kickers. How did that gig go?
It was so good. We haven't played live for so long. We like I've played a lot solo and like in kind of an acoustic capacity, but in terms of like a band setting, like we actually haven't performed live in a really long time. So it was amazing to get back on stage and to do the live performance stuff again because we have been spending so much time in the studio. I think you can kind of like push yourself into a bit of a bubble and just like yeah, maybe get stuck in the recording side of things. And it's so awesome to be able to like step back into the live element and just like, see how many people come out and like, know the words and that kind of stuff. It was like, yeah, it was really, really lovely. We had a really good night.
Yeah. What was the inspiration behind that song?
So Best in You was about seeing the best in people, even, in their raw moments. And yeah, trusting, I guess, the relationship that you have with them and trusting your intuition with that relationship too. But yeah, that song came about. I think I had written again, I'd done something different in the way that I would usually write. And I think I wrote this one on piano, which is not usually my instrument. I'll usually write on the guitar. So yeah, writing on piano, I think, brought maybe a different emotion to the song than I would usually. And then I had brought it to Alex and we'd kind of refined some of the chords. And then we played it with our keys player on drums and Jay, who isn't usually, well, he actually is playing in Velvet Bloom now, but at that point he wasn't playing in our band. And he was on keys. So we kind of had like a different arrangement. So yeah, it pushed some ideas again, like and pushed our creativity into different areas than we maybe would usually, like with people on the instruments that they play. And yeah, that song was also so much fun to write. I think it was the slowest song to come together because we had these like grand ideas for horns parts, but like we were just writing them ourselves and we're obviously not horns, like we don't play sax or trumpet. So we had an idea of what we wanted it to sound like and we'd kind of like created an outline, but then to have Brennan go through it and just like compose the parts that he made was yeah, so awesome. We've never worked with a horn section. So that was really, really fun.
Speaking of grand ideas, you've been having a bit of fun with the design element of your photo shoots, and has anyone been
Yeah.
helping you, or is that just your creative instinct?
I think like with most of our stuff, I'll always engage like people who are around us who I love, like and whose art I love as well. Um, with the photo shoots that have come more recently, we decided to create a bit of a sanctuary slash world slash like vision. And it'll kind of all come out with the album, but I guess like each thing that we put into this landscape was like um significant in the way that it would represent something from the album. And uh yeah, the world has a way that it operates and we have kind of like a poem that will come out with the vinyl. And it kind of just describes, I guess, like the emotion and like the purpose, which is something that we kind of haven't really done before. But yes, I did engage a lot of incredible artists on this one. We had a person called Erica who did makeup. We had Valentina who was doing the photo shoot and editing. So we worked really closely with her to come up with a lot of those. We had Josh, who also goes by So Capri. He come up with a lot of the creative design elements with me as well. Like we workshopped a lot of the intention behind like the color scheme and the world and the props and all of that kind of stuff. Um, and we've worked with him quite a few times. He's a really good friend of ours. We worked with Eden Strachan on typography and like design for yeah, like graphic design stuff. And I'm missing someone. Oh, Catholic Guilt. She created the incredible chain mail that you see. She's an incredible artist, and yeah, you should check out her stuff if you haven't seen it before. And yeah, we had Shushu as well, which is a clothing label who did the intimates too. So had a very, very big team on this one. But yeah, I guess like in terms of deciding what was going to be brought into the shoot, like I have a lot of grand ideas, and then a lot of people who are very talented help us achieve them.
Yeah. Do you see that design element developing into the live show at some point?
Yeah, which like it does usually, whether it be in floral kind of like flower arrangements or like um fabrics or that kind of stuff. Like we will always have props on stage at the shows that we can. Obviously, if we're playing, regional or remote places, we can't always bring that stuff with us, like on the plane or that kind of thing. But a lot of our shows that are more local, like we're able to incorporate a lot of that design stuff, and definitely will for the future shows that we have coming for the album. But yeah, unable to bring a lot of those props into state at this point, unfortunately.
So what's happening over the Christmas period? Do you get a break, or are you still writing, gigging?
Well, we're actually on residency at the moment in Point Nepean, so on the Mornington Peninsula, on Boonwurrung Country, and we are doing the artist in residence program through the Mornington Peninsula Regional Gallery, which means that we're here for like 6 weeks to write music, which is really fun. This is like the studio that we've brought from our house. Um, and yeah, it's been amazing. It's like we're on the beach here and able to kind of like go swimming and stuff and then come back in the studio and like write for the day. So yeah, it's been awesome. It's been so great to be able to like actually set aside time to like write music. Yeah, instead of it just being like more sporadic, it's like intentional.
Yeah. The album's out on March 28 next year. What happens after that?
After that, we will be touring, and it will be a really big tour, probably the biggest that we've done. Definitely this headline tour that we've done. Um, that is national, so we'll be visiting a lot of places that we haven't been before, which is really exciting. We're heading up to Darwin and Alice Springs for part of that tour as well, which I'm really excited about. The band's coming over to WA too, which is also really exciting. We haven't done band shows over there. Yes, a lot of firsts, which is really exciting. And yeah, that's going to kind of roll out from April onwards.
Yeah. Well, the album's out on March 28, and we look forward to hearing it. And Maddie, it's been great to chat again.
You too.